This is Tell Me Exactly, an emergency communications podcast. Today we're getting into training and telling you exactly how to schedule courses and use vouchers on the Priority Dispatch online learning portal. I'm your host, Meridith Jensen. I've got more than 15 years experience in public safety, starting as a call taker, working in quality assurance and training, and now I serve as an implementations, EDQ protocol, and software expert with Priority Dispatch. On Tell Me Exactly, I invite experts from Priority Dispatch and the International Academies of Emergency Dispatch to talk to me about all things related to emergency communications centers. Today, Hailee, Beatty, and Denali McKinney join me to talk all things courses and vouchers. Hailee is the Implementation Project Support Specialist. She manages the course process and implementation project for our new agencies. Denali is the course coordination team lead. She works in customer service with vouchers and course registration. Welcome, ladies. I'm so excited to have you here with me today.
Hi, good morning.
So good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So I know that this is definitely one of those topics that many of our agencies are going to be excited to learn more about because there's probably lots of questions that they've been wanting to ask. So let's get right to it. Tell me exactly how to schedule courses using vouchers on our portal. So I'm going to start with you, Denali. Give me just, if you could, kind of an overview of what the course coordination team is and what these vouchers are all about.
For sure. So course coordination is our customer service side for PDC. So we like to help out with course setups, course registration, any questions you may have, and you call in. And we also have the chat feature. So you guys communicate with us a lot once your implementation is over. So if you are using a voucher, so for example, a couple reasons we would use a voucher is if you were given one through your implementation vouchers that you have left over, or if you have vouchers from the one plan, or vouchers pertaining to a registration if you missed a class. So we'll give you a certain voucher, and then you can use that if you missed a class and need to register for a different class. So for example, when you're registering for a class, you'll log on to courses.prioritydispatch.net, and that's where you'll find the classes that you want to sign up for. When you do finally get to your cart and you start to pay, there's an option for voucher code. There are two separate spaces, so if you are doing voucher code, make sure not to put it in the promo code space on the bottom. You'll click voucher code, then go to the next page, and that's where you will enter in your voucher code. So hopefully, does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
So essentially, these vouchers are created so that an agency then is not charged separately for their course registration. Is that how I'm understanding it? Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct. There are certain voucher codes that are a part of your maintenance agreement. And then there are voucher codes specifically for if you need to transfer into a different class for the remainder of your course, or if you missed your course entirely and say your agency supervisor wants to move you into another course. So the voucher code will usually start with a V and then a dash, and then it will it'll include your agency ID or it will be your personal name included. Also, with these voucher codes, they are specified to a specific discipline. So depending on, in my instance, so if you missed a class and you say it's a medical class, it will only be for that medical class. You can't use it for fire or police, just for those ones. For implementations, that's different, and I'll let Hailee speak on that. But for us, it's just like one specific discipline.
Okay, so that's the type of courses that these vouchers cover are certification courses. Is what you're saying?
Correct. Yes. Only certification courses will be used by a voucher code.
Right. And so we have certification courses for medical dispatching, fire dispatching, police dispatching. And then what other kind of certification courses do we have?
So we have ETC, which is our telecommunicator course. We have ETCI, which is our instructor to teach ETC. We have Q courses, which are our quality assurance classes after taking the initial certification courses. We also have, let me think, a lot of instructor courses as well, but that'll go more through the Academy Instructor Services, and they can help you if you are interested in becoming an instructor. We also have software classes, which you know the best about, I feel like, Meridith, like AQUA or ProQA classes as well.
Excellent. So essentially, like all the kinds of classes that an agency might need to get both their dispatchers and their leadership trained to be able to do things for the use of our systems, right?
Correct, yes.
Awesome. So Hailee, tell me a little bit about why these courses are important and why are we giving vouchers to agencies instead of just having them pay when they put it in their cart?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the implementation side, it's important we give them a voucher ahead of time because their courses and their seat allocations for classes are paid for with their implementation. So instead of having them be billed afterwards or pay up front with a credit card when they're registering for these courses, the voucher is used to kind of bypass that process so they don't have to pay twice. And so the courses are really important to get the agencies through all of their training necessary. On the implementation side, it depends on what discipline is being implemented. Usually they'll set up host courses where it's private on the website. That way they can make sure to get their entire agency registered and certified so they can start taking calls on the floor.
And we do both on-site courses and also remote courses. Is that correct?
That's correct. And we do those through implementations, on-site, remote, with all certification as well as software classes. So it's kind of neat where we work closely with course coordination to where an agency going through an implementation, they can have or host their own classes at their agency, but they also have the option to register for an open class on the course coordination side that might be remote. If they only have a couple people going through, they can just kind of pop over and do a remote class instead of having an entire class that's an implementation setup.
And to me, my experience is that that's really helpful for those agencies, right? Because if I've only got one person that needs to attend training, rather than sending someone out to do the training for just that one person, I can have my person join another class, which is going to really enhance their learning, right? Because they're going to be able to kind of interact with other students that are learning the material and kind of get some of that interaction with the rest of the group. So I think that's an excellent solution for agencies that maybe just have the one or two people that they need to put through.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to me about any other benefits or anything else that you've heard from agencies that they really like about remote versus on-site?
Sure. It gives them kind of a little bit more flexibility. It's really hard for agencies, especially going through an implementation, to take a bunch of people off the floor to go sit through a class. So the flexibility of remote classes allows them to take, a couple people at a time off their shift to take the certification classes, get certified, and then, the next week or the week after they can put a couple more in. So it gives them more flexibility, and the times are really great because we offer a bunch of different times. Denali and her team set up all these different times to where it's, easily accessible for all the agencies.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we call those our static remote classes, and we actually just implemented a 12 a.m. one. So for those people doing the night shift, they'll be able to attend a static remote class as well.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Because I know that's probably one of the biggest frustrations with agencies is trying to find time to get their people off the floor to be able to attend these sessions.
For sure.
Yeah. So Denali, I know that you guys have been doing this whole process of online learning portal and the vouchers for a couple of years now. What are some of the most common mistakes or pitfalls you see agencies making that causes frustration or causes them to reach out to you and seek help for registering their people using vouchers?
Okay, so a couple different things that could happen. Putting the voucher code in the promo code space, that is a really common issue that we have. So It's hard to explain over the podcast, but if you're looking at the website, it'll be on the bottom and it says promo code next to it. But when you go to the next page, that's where you want to put the voucher code.
Right.
Another reason I kind of expressed earlier was the voucher code is only specific to whatever discipline the voucher code is for. So, for example, if you attended an EPD remote course and your voucher code is for an EPD remote course, it won't work for an EPD on-site course because those are different course IDs. So the voucher code won't be able to read. So if there is an issue and you wanted to attend, say your agency is putting on an on-site course and you want to attend that with your voucher code, just reach out to course coordination. We'd be more than happy to update your voucher code, but you can't do it on your own side.
Right.
Another issue that we run into quite a bit is the links that we provide. Sometimes in our confirmations, they'll click on them, but then they're not already signed into their account. So just make sure that you're signed into your account and you've logged in at least once, so then you'll be able to use your voucher code on your account. Otherwise, you won't be able to access those links. You won't be able to go to the payment voucher either.
Yeah, so I just also wanted to chime in and say, just make sure it is case specific when you get the voucher code. And so I've seen a lot of mistakes with agencies that are typing it in and not copying and pasting. So just make sure it is case specific. And if it's a lowercase, enter it that way for it to be read.
That capital L or that capital I and lowercase l look like the same thing, don't they? Sometimes it can even look like a 1. It's like, man, so frustrating. So yeah, definitely copy and paste is our best practice there, right? Excellent.
Absolutely.
So you guys also have some other resources out there to help agencies, right? I feel like there's some how-to videos on the website. There's also a chat feature. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, Denali?
I would love to. The FAQ on our website, if you guys can, before even reaching out, the FAQ has so many helpful step-by-step guides that I and Hailee have created in the past. So there's pictures, there's guides, step-by-steps. So the FAQ is available on the IAED portal side and the PDC portal side. So you'll be able to see it on before logging in and after logging into your account. Secondly, we have a couple videos also on the FAQ. We are working with a couple different teams to add more videos for you guys, but for now there's a couple different videos. And then our chat feature is an awesome feature that we implemented last year. So you can message us through the chat, and we have a couple different customer service reps that are available for any questions that you may have. I do have one thing about the customer service chat side, is it is only course coordination specific. So if you do have questions about after you have tested, certification, or recertification, I implore you to message the Academy. So the Academy member services can help you with that. Our chat team is unavailable for that.
Thanks. And we're going to go ahead and put a link in the show notes for this episode for some helpful resources as well. So be sure to click on those links and check out those resources when you need them. All right, so one last question. Hailee, I know it's a little bit different how this process works for implementations. That's agencies that are coming on board with our products as a new client. How is this going to be different for agencies that are existing users?
Yeah, so we kind of start out with a catch-all voucher for implementations, and they're created ahead of time when the contracts are signed initially with the implementation, and then there's a process that kind of goes through onboarding, and then we get to kind of my piece in the implementation, and I actually create the allocations for the vouchers. So it is a manual process, so double checking, sometimes things can be off, but basically we want to put all of the correct class types in, and however amount that they've paid for in their implementation or however amount they're getting in their voucher code. And that will be included with everything that they're going through the implementation, whether it's certification, Q, software, system admin training, ProQA and AQUA reports, things like that. That'll all be in the one voucher code. When the classes are scheduled and set up, They'll be listed on the notebook section. We have a implementation teamwork projects where it kind of keeps track of everything with the implementation. There's a notebook section there, and I go ahead and enter in the classes, and I make sure that all the information for the class, including the date, time, class number, and the link to register, included with the voucher on the top of the page, is all there for the client to use, and easy for the project manager also to access all of the classes that are listed and that voucher code.
All right. So for our listeners, if there's one big takeaway when it comes to registering for courses in the online portal using vouchers, do they have to have a voucher to register for any type of course, whether it's an implementation or an existing client?
No, so you don't have to have a voucher. You can actually pay upfront with a credit card when you're going through registration. You can also enter in a PO number. So that would be specific to your agency's PO system or kind of whatever you guys use to keep track of it. And then our accounting department, once everything is processed through the course, they will bill you that later. And so implementation-wise, it's best practice to use the voucher code so we don't have to kind of go backwards. Since the implementation has already been paid for or is in the process of being paid, the voucher code is definitely the best way to get in on the implementation cost.
And just one more add-on for the invoice option, so the PO option, you will need to have your agency ID attached to your account. That option will not be available to you until you add your agency ID.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. You are both rock stars. You're some of my absolute favorite people on the planet.
Oh.
We love you, Meridith.
Aw, I love you too. I hope that maybe you'll come back and join me again and we can chat a little bit more about some other topics because you guys are definitely the go-tos whenever I have questions about anything because you guys seem to know everything about everything. I love it.
Thanks, Meridith. Yeah, we're always happy to help. We kind of, the more that we're here, the longer that we're here at PDC, the more we learn. So I'm definitely happy to help at any time I can.
Absolutely same. I feel like I'm learning something new every day while I'm here. Or there's a little tiny change of some sort.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Meridith.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to let us know what you liked and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Look for @TellMeExactly to get the latest on all things emergency communications. Tell Me Exactly is a Priority Dispatch Corporation podcast developed by our team of protocol experts and hosted by me, Meridith Jensen, with Cody Ekman as producer, Reading Roberts as sound engineer, Scott Robinson and Jason Barber as executive producers.